Simon, are the most effective club owners the ones you rarely hear anything from? We now hear that Chelsea's co-controlling owner, Bedad Iqbali, who producer Luke and I met at the start of the season with Bowley, he's reportedly gone into the team's dressing room after every game he's been to this season, including Sunday's defeat to Villa. Now, Chelsea's sources insist that Iqbali doesn't address the players and hasn't delivered any kind of pep-like talks during any of his visits. Nonetheless, he goes in and does a bit of handshaking.
Yeah.
Like, see you all soon. Is it best that he and Bowley and others like him stay in the background?
Well, I suppose the argument would be, is it best that you hear nothing from them? It depends what you hear from them. I mean, if you hear something that's constructive and worth listening to and valuable and enhancing and informative, then why wouldn't you hear from them? In this age of ownership, where once upon a time when I first walked through the door, the best football club owners apparently were the ones that you never heard from. That's changed, and the expectation from the fans. There's always this backdrop that they don't really want to see you. They want to know that you're running your football club, their football club, in an effective way that represents the values of the fans, and most of that means winning on the pitch. I've never really maintained the view that there's anything wrong with anyone going in the dressing room. I didn't particularly want to. I didn't think it was necessary for me to be in there. I wanted to go in there and say hello to the players. I went in there once, very early doors, because I felt that I needed to administer a severe reprimand. And it was a waste of my time and energy, and gave opportunity for people to consistently then say, I spent my entire time in the dressing room.
But you did it in a more sneaky way, did you not? You admitted to being like in an adjacent room
I used to like
with a glass held against the wall.
I used to like periodically going into the physiotherapy room to listen to the manager that I really liked speaking to the players, because I really admired what he was doing with this group of players. It was a young group of players. I saw the Victor Moseses of the world, the Scott Sinclairs, and people like John Bostock being developed under this manager. And given I was so invested in the youth development policy at Palace, because it gave me some sanity, I wanted to just be part of understanding what my manager was saying to them. I didn't want to be involved in any dialogue with the players. I didn't want to be involved in any pep talks or rah-rah speeches or any TED talks or whatever it is that some owners think they need to do. But if you own a football club, this ridiculous notion that ultimately the only place you can't go is the dressing room is some antiquated... Everyone talks about dinosaurs. They talk about this manager or that person being a dinosaur. This mythology that people that own a football club, that pay people hundreds of millions of pounds a year, wouldn't want to wander around and say hello to some of their charges, is just silly. But
so this is allowable, is it? I mean, Bowley was widely criticised. Do you remember he entered the dressing room after last season's defeat to Brighton, and he called them embarrassing in an address to the players?
Well,
what's that going to achieve?
Well, look, it depends upon your relationship and where you are in the structure of things. Certain people believe that their owner certain managers believe that owners should operate in a certain way, and other people operate in another. I think that early doors, most owners of a football club that are learning the ropes will have this tendency. It's human nature, every single one of us, that they're in a position of owning their football club and they saw a performance that was so scandalously bad and listened to a group of fans booing, howling and catcalling the owners, would feel the inclination to go down there. And once you've done it, you never feel the inclination to do it again, because you know what's going to happen. Someone's going to tell the media, and forever and a day, the media will then turn around and say, you're that chairman that goes in the dressing room, and never leave you from that situation. So with that in mind, do I think it's human nature? Yeah. Do I think it's advisable? No, I don't. But the bottom line is that you start going into dressing rooms. What is wrong with walking into dressing rooms? I mean, Abramovich had a decent relationship with Terry, with Lampard, with all the players. They all speak very highly of them. If he wants to go in there and do team talks, whole different set of rules. If he wants to go in there and pop his head round the door and say, good luck, lads, or I'm proud of you, lads, what in God's name would be wrong about that?
But the thing is, do you really want to put yourself in a situation as an owner,
in whose eyes,
to court attention at a time like that?
In whose eyes?
It's a no. I'm just wondering what Sir Alex would have thought if the Glazers strolled in.
Depends how they did it. Depends upon the nature of the relationship.
I know it's their prerogative to do it, but that's the player's domain. That's the player's
No, it's not.
area.
It's an environment created for them by the owners that they sit in. And ultimately, as a result of it, what is if there is a harm, I'm not for it, but I'm also not against it. I look at it and say, would I want to do it? Did I do it very often? No, I did it once in a dreadful performance at home to Grimsby, where the players were a scandalous disgrace and they needed to be told. The fact of the matter is they needed to be told by the manager, and the manager wasn't capable of doing it, so he shouldn't have been there in the first place.
So you went in and let rip?
Yeah, I let rip. I let rip in no uncertain terms, and I don't pull any punches, and the players got told, form an orderly queue outside my office and you can all do one, because I don't want you here anymore. You Morrison, you Hayden Mullins, you Jamie Smith, you, and you, all you England under 21 players that think you're bigger than you are. I couldn't care less about a lot of you. Now, Was that advisable? No. Was it understandable? Was it understandable? Did I get it off my chest?
That was good.
And did the pests get told, Clinton? Yes, they did.
Yeah.
But the point is this.
What happened in the next game?
I can't remember. We went on to...
probably still couldn't play for laughing.
Ironically, after that game, we went on a run of games that got us to a League Cup semi-final against Liverpool and won 2-1.
So it was down to you?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I think it was just a moment in time. But what it did do was it concentrated Clinton's mind and Hayden Mullins' mind about their value in the equation. Because when I said to him, you can go on the transfer list, and no one came in and bid for them, I had great fun with that, saying, see how valuable you are to everyone else. Nobody bleeding wants you. So start pulling your weight. But the point
so
is...
you get no problem with this at Chelsea?
I do and I don't. I have a problem with it because what it does is it allows people like us to characterise them in a certain way and not to have the context of why they're in there. Do I think it's advisable? Do I think it's necessary? No. Do I think there should be a space for an owner if he wants to say hello to the people that play for him, that represent the ultimate thing that he owns? He owns a football club because he wants to own a football club, and the people that make that football club effective, and in the eyes of everyone looking at it, are the players. So why wouldn't you say hello? If he goes in there and starts giving a pep talk, of course not.
No, of course not. That's not what should be done. Do you regret some of the attention you used to get being an owner? Some of it intended, some of it not. I mean, you say you stood in the sidelines a fair bit. It was still you. It was still opinionated you.
Yeah, but my opinions wasn't about the players.
You were still wearing a powder blue suit.
My opinions were often about the ridiculousness of the FA, the incompetence, disingenuity, and downright divisiveness of the PFA. You know, the ridiculousness of this non-entity called the LMA and all these sort of people that had no value whatsoever. They're all bunch of jobs for the boys nonsense. Right. And so I had no respect for them. I never really commented on the players. You would get me on the phone to talk about my particular dispute with Ian Dowie and his disgraceful behaviour that ended up getting him in court. And you would be
rude to me.
And I would put you in the picture.
You call me a pipsqueak.
Who was giving you the opportunity, and I don't need you. Yeah. But the point is this, is that if I was sitting on your station going, well, I think he should play this player and I think he should play that player, that'd be ridiculous. Sure. You never heard me doing that.
No, I agree.
I railed against, when the ITV Digital deal collapsed, I was at the front foot, not wanting to allow ridiculous people like Keith Harris to run the Football League the way that they were, because they were clowns and they needed to be told, and that became more associated with me than my involvement with players.
Okay, you wouldn't talk to him, but you still talk to Orville.
I'll get more sense out of Orville. That's why.
True.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.